Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Monday. Welcome to this week's Practice Accelerator Challenge. We're so happy to have you on here. I'm here with my beautifully amazing team. Dan, how are you doing today? We got Dr. Dan Kellums in the house.
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's good to see everybody's faces and be here innovating. All about it.
We like that word. And Regan, our fearless leader, how are you doing today?
It's been a good Halloween, really good.
Awesome. Well, cool. So just a few housekeeping items. Session 4 is going to be at the beautiful Zermatt Lodge right by Reagan's house in Midway, Utah. It's not too far from the place we held the last event. If you have not registered, please do so. Our group code for the hotel expires in a couple of days. So get your rooms booked, get ready to learn, get ready to innovate, get ready to just, do all the badass stuff that we do. So, and then also, so moving on with our PAC webinars, we're going to spend the first 5 or 10 minutes doing a Q&A. We're starting to get a lot of questions in Kajabi about peptides or other different healing modalities. So we want to make sure that we're serving you guys in the best way possible. So to get started, I'm going to pull up a couple of questions for you guys. All right. Let's see. This is a question about thymosin alpha-1, and I don't know if this kind of rolls with zinc thymulin, but how long do you have people stay on thymosin alpha-1, and what's the course of that therapy?
So thymosin alpha-1, if you can actually get it, we've been using thymogen alpha-1, and that one's from integrated peptides. This is one of those peptides that, like, cycling on, cycling off, there's nothing clinical that would say that you need to do that, because it's upgrading your thymus gland, and our thymus gland involutes as we age. And so for all intents and purposes, the more intelligence you can have in your white blood cells, the better. And so this is one that you can keep them on long term. Usually I don't like to leave anyone on anything for more than 90 days, and I like to give them a month off. And so that's just my own personal philosophy, but I've got nothing to back that up besides the idea that anytime you're pushing a pathway for too long, inevitably that pathway is not going to be as maybe as attentive or responsive as it could be if you don't like pull back on it a little bit. Awesome. Dan, any thoughts you've got on that one?
No, I'm on the same mindset as you. I don't usually, like, if you're just, if you're doing like a longevity program, like we talked about last week, and combining the peptides, that's one thing. If you're dealing with a long-term case, the only time I put someone on something for an extended period of time is like, you'll find somebody that's a difficult case and you'll get them in a sweet spot. When you get them in a sweet spot, don't change anything, right? It's like, except for like, you have to cycle like BPC, 5 days on, 2 days off, or do 3 months on, 1 month off. I think that's super important, so you don't wear out those receptors and those that get the body used to that pathway. But the only time I don't cycle somebody off of something is if they've been a hard case, we've found them in a sweet spot, best time of their life, keep them in that space. Yeah,
dig it.
Cool. So there's one. Sorry, let me just pull up this sheet again. All right. So what are your guys' success rates with using ARA 290 for neuropathy? Like this doctor was just like, it's really pricey. She just wanted to know if you guys are seeing good results or if there's any other peptides you're using for neuropathy.
It's a good question.
That is a good question. And maybe we could start with this belief system real quick, because it is a very expensive peptide. And so I think this is where people, this doctor, whoever asked it, you may not be bundling peptides into a program, and you still may be doing one-off peptides. And the problem with that thinking is, then you look at ARA 290. Well, first of all, the dose is like twice as much. They're going to send it in a 4 ml vial. So do not, like, the price is not an expensive peptide if you look at the quantity you're getting. So that's a misbelief. It's a misunderstanding. The second thing is ARA 290 it's so much more dynamic than just neuropathy. Neuropathy is great, and I mean, it's being used in clinical trials for sarcoidosis. It should be in the phase 3 clinical trials now, shown to be very safe, very effective. But if you have patients who are really looking to optimize their endurance, optimize their proprioception, optimize athleticism, ARA-290 is like hands down my favorite peptide for that. And then as far as results with neuropathy, I've never seen anyone use ARA-290 in a singular fashion for neuropathy. Have you, Dan? Because that's just not, it's not what we train on at Go Wellness. It's just.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was sitting here, why are we talking about monotherapy? We are well beyond a monotherapeutic approach. We need to be, we know that the peptides are pleiotropic, but we have to have multiple modalities that we're using to get that compounded effect. I would never, I wouldn't just be going after neuropathy with just ARA-290.
No, but as a suite of services, like if you're doing, and Dan gave us some amazing protocols, but if you're doing ozone injections, PRP, tissue allograft, we have, and Tucker can attest to this because he's seen it in the clinic and over and over again, hundreds of patients come through. And these are patients who are like full-blown neuropathic patients. 80% of them get phenomenal results with the protocol, but the protocol is the entire protocol. So hopefully we dispelled two big myths there. Myth number one, it's an expensive peptide. It's actually not when you look at the quantity. So way more expensive not to have great athleticism, not to have, and ARA-290 is the pain peptide. So you're actually, the opiate growth factors in your brain, you need those and you want something to help them develop. And ARA-290, if you mix that with some low-dose naltrexone, you change your patient's life as you use these other therapies like the PRP, regenerative medicine, tissue allografts, acupuncture, laser therapy, even decompression. There's so many cool things you can do with the ozone. So hopefully we got rid of the monotherapy. We don't, that's like absolutely not, it's a no-no. And then singular peptides. So
yeah. Another note on that is, the reason the protocol works is because it addresses multiple causes of neuropathy. Whereas that's the problem with the monotherapeutic approach. One, it's not compounded, but two, we're not fixing the why behind the drivers of neuropathy with just that singular approach.
Hey everybody, Regan Archibald here. I hope you enjoyed the Go Wellness show and maybe learned a couple things you could apply to your practice. If you're a healthcare entrepreneur who wants to work in an academic think tank with like-minded humans who are just like you, looking to provide better service, better quality of care for your patients, reach us at info@gowellness.com and we're happy to do a free practice analysis for you.